Good morning and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about sleep and where we are with Alex and what I plan to do about it. So Alex is 21 going into 22 months old, so basically he'll be 2 at the end of the spring, and he has slept through the night, I want to say a handful of times at most. He also has probably slept in his own bed probably this many times or less. He goes to sleep without any issue, although recently he started needing to be cuddled to sleep, but he has been able to go to sleep on his own in his bed. I give him his milk, he takes himself off with his cuddly toy and he managed to get to sleep. But recently about 11 o'clock, he goes to bed about 7, about 11, between 10 and 11 he'll wake and he will want a cuddle and he'll want, cuddles basically. I try to put him back in his own cot and 75% of the time he won't have it. He'll sleep soundly in our bed but won't be put back in his cot. The other 25% of the time he will go back in his cot and he will wake up say 2 hours later, so 1 o'clock. Quite often at that point then he's up for an hour at least. He has no intention of going back to sleep, his mind's ticking, he's chattering, he's going through the day, the words that he's learning, and he's been like this for a couple of months. If he is in our bed, he's still waking several times in the night. Luckily, if he's asleep, like in between us, we can kind of, cuddle him back to sleep and he'll go. Sometimes he'll have milk. Things have been slightly up and down at home at the moment because we have had to move out because we've had lots of building work done. So we've actually lived with my parents. This means that we're all sleeping in one bedroom, myself, my husband in our bed, Alex in his cot, and then we have a daughter who is almost 4 in her bed in that too. So there will have been an element of disruption to routine. We're sleeping right next to him, so there is going to be some disturbances, that kind of thing. But we were only there for a couple of months. That was a recent thing, and we've had issues. Got hair somewhere. Had issues with him for a really long time, or since he was born really. He'll nap really well. He'll go in his cot and he will sleep for like 2 hours, not a problem. It's just night time. He eats really well. He drinks. He's very active during the day. He goes to nursery. We go swimming. He goes on days out, on days that I'm not with him. We try to get outside when we can, so there's no reason really why he shouldn't be sleeping. So we have moved back home this weekend and I'm going to start a sleep training. I say training loosely. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not a program because it's just what I'm going to do with him over the coming weeks. I obviously want him to settle back into his bedroom. He's got a new bedroom, so he's going to need to settle and get used to being in there, but it's still the same cot. But I'm going to stick, the bedtime is going to be exactly the same, except there'll be no cuddling him to sleep. I of course will give him a cuddle while he has his milk, we'll have a story after the bath, etc. But he will be put down into his cot to fall asleep on his own. I'm going to try, unless he's unwell of course, or anything like that, I won't be encouraging any of us to cuddle him to sleep, because I think that's the first step, is to get him to go to sleep on his own so he knows where he's falling to sleep. I should say I'm sharing this because I plan to share a sleep training diary over the coming weeks, so you can see what's worked for us, what hasn't worked for us and how we're getting on, because it might just help. So yeah, that's the first thing, is he'll be going to sleep on his own. That may mean an element of controlled crying. I've done it with him in the past for nap time and it has worked well. It's only taken a couple of days. When I say controlled crying, it's not, I don't allow him to become upset, because I don't want bedtime to be a stressful and anxious time for him. I want him to be relaxed in bed, so I will keep reassuring him. I wouldn't let him cry for longer than a couple of minutes, and I will always be either in the room or just outside the room. Then during the night when he wakes, because he won't be able to disturb my parents or Daisy so easily now, because they have their own rooms, I'm going to allow him to yabber, chatter away, shout us, whinge a little bit, moan before I go in to see he's okay, because I think he needs that time to self-settle. He's got used to us settling him for him. So we're going to do that. Of course I will go in after a few minutes if he gets really upset. If not, I'm going to try and not get him out of the cot when he wakes. So it will be a case of lying him back down, rubbing his back. I'm going to continue to have that contact with him. I think stopping it now is too much too soon, but I'm just talking you through the stages that I plan to do. So that'll be the first couple of weeks, I think, see how we get on. Then it will be a case of when he wakes, stretching that time out that I do go in there to see him. But I need him to know that we are there. He's got a vaporizer at, what do they call them? Vaporizer? Humidifier in his bedroom, and it's got lights in it and it glows, so I'm going to keep that going. It also produces a sound, so I'm going to keep that going every night as like a comforter. I know it's another association with sleep, but it's a better association than coming into our bed and waking the whole house up. Within time, obviously I hope that we don't have to keep going in there. I hope we don't have to bring him into our bed. There's going to be nights where we all need sleep. Sometimes I have to get up very early to travel for work. Ben has a job that he has to get up and go and do. Daisy has her days to do, nursery, etc. So we need it sorted really. But yeah, I thought I would share it. If you've got any tips for a toddler who will not sleep, then please let me know. I would be really grateful. Thanks.